Yo, what's going on, guys? Reversal here, and today I'm going to be sharing a super heavy samurai Swordsoul deck that I've been playing here and there for a little bit now. I think it's an interesting concept on how to play Swordsoul. It's probably not as good as like just regular Swordsoul, even though I think that deck's kind of been power crept at this point. But it's still like fine since you can kind of tailor it how you want. But the super heavy cards make the deck a lot more potent going first and a lot less prone to board breakers. So I like playing the deck going first more with the super heavy cards at the moment. But yeah, it's not the best deck or anything, but it's fun to play, so figured I'd share it since it's like a combo I haven't really seen anywhere on YouTube or anything, so just wanted to get it out there. The super heavy cards do have the drawback that you can't use spell and traps, or you can't have spell and traps in your grave, so you can't use them going second, like before starting your stuff, so you have to use like monster based going second cards, unfortunately, but there's enough pretty good ones to get around that, but can be annoying at times. But between the 10 Ys and the super heavy cards, you can bait out negates pretty well going second. So playing into boards isn't too bad as long as they're not like overwhelming. But yeah, that's about it. Get into the deck now. It's 43 cards to help hide a couple of the bricks and just so you have enough non-engine space before I get started. If you're not subbed, definitely drop a sub. Around 90% of people who watch the videos are not subbed, so let's try to change that. And then I'll show the combo at the end. So we got 3 Ecclesia, 3 Moyi, 3 Longwon, 2 Taya. It's the same Swordsoul ratios, been in every Swordsoul deck since the deck came out. 3 Ashuna, 2 Vishuddha, 2 Adara, 1 Shatana. Even though you're not playing the Heavenly Dragon Circle, I still think it's good to play the Shatana, since you can summon it off Ashuna as like a level 4 extender, and you can pen summon it technically as well, so can come up, still good to have in my opinion. And then this is just, I like this ratio for the other 10 Ys for this deck. That's it for the worm stuff. For the pendulums, we got 3 Wakashi, 3 Bike. These are the main 1-card starters. We got 1 Big Benki, 1 Soul Horns, and 1 Zephyr Nui. You don't need 2 Big Benki. It is awkward if you draw it, but you just have to give up your normal summon, and it works the same, so you just have to pendulum summon the other stuff in your hand, but you still get the combo, so it's not worth putting another brick in your deck to play a second one to avoid that. Typically you'll see a level 4 in this spot for like the Stardust Excel into Baron play, but you can only do that if you open Bike, and I don't like that. I want to be able to establish a Baron before I'm prone to it with either one of these. So playing this and this allow me to do that. So you can go into Danglong with these two, and then your Danglong can search you the Zephyr Nui, and this searches you a counter trap on when it's pen summoned. So if you only pen summon this, you can make Baron with this and Danglong when you modulate Danglong's level to 4. So just off the 1-card starters here, you get Baron plus a counter trap plus the scales, so it's pretty good off 1 card. The counter trap helps a lot to solve the regular Swordsoul issue of getting blown up by board breakers for the most part, so that's nice to have. For the spell traps, we got 3 Emergence, 1 Blackout, and 1 Zephyr counter trap. It's just an non-negate. You banish the Zephyr monster from your face-up extra deck, and you'll have the Zephyr Nui for that. So, and then with these, you can always banish them off Taya or Shishao to get them out of grave if you really need to. So that's nice. For the non-engine, play 1 Pank. It's one of the best monster-based going second cards. It's a nice 2-for-1. It plays well with the 10 Ys and the super heavy stuff. Just when you're baiting stuff out, can really tear apart a board relatively easily. You can technically pendulum summon it going first if you disrespect Nib too, so There's that. Then we get some hand traps, 3 Droll, 3 Ash, and 3 Veiler. Droll is a necessary evil this format, unfortunately, for like the combo decks, even though I don't think any of them are like that crazy, but you do have to respect them. So this hurts the super heavy portion of the deck a little bit, so that's one weakness it gains as opposed to regular Swordsoul, but you do get better into the other stuff. So Ash is good in everything. Veiler would be Imperm, but like I said, you can't play Imperm, so it's the next best thing. So the extra deck, I got the 1 Denglong, the super heavy combo. 10s, we have Baron, Sinister, Chang'e. 8s, 2 Shisha, Draco Berserker, Dragite, 2 Boxia. Boxia's crazy. Just being able to like special Ecclesia, normal Swordsoul, and then chain block this is really nice going second. 1 Yazi, 1 Chaofeng, 2 Monk. I don't think you need 3. And for the last slot, you got either Shaman or Psychic Gun Punisher. These both come up here and there. Shaman probably comes up more, but Psychic Gun Punisher is really funny since you can make it relatively easily, and it could be like a comeback mechanic. So I'll probably end up cutting this since this is 16 cards, but this card's really funny when you do get to use it, and it can just steal games that you have no business winning, so I do like playing it. So that's it for the extra deck. I'll give it a little side deck template before I get into the combo. So we got 3 Kaijus. These should just be more Gamma Seals or Kamungus, since level 7's probably the optimal level, since you can make like Psychic and Punisher with Wakaushi in the 7, or you can make an 8 with Adhara. So stuff like that can come up, or you could just play Gamma Seals since it's the smallest, but I only have 1 Gamma Seal and I don't have Kamungus, so just wanted to show 3 Kaijus though, because I think Kaijus are good. For Kashtira and Pearly, I think those are the 2 best decks, so I'm gonna have some Kaijus. 2 Magnemite and a Druisworm. You could make space for a 3rd Magnemite if you really want to, but these cards are very nice. The level 6 is obviously relevant as well in this deck. 3 Ghost Spells, mainly for Labyrinth, but it's good in other stuff as well. 3 Nib. I would main deck this, but it's conflicts with the Tenyis, so I'd rather just side it when I need it. And then for last slot, you can either go like Anti-Spell or D-Barrier, or you can go like Cosmics, because you could play these going first still. And Cosmic is probably the better choice, because back row decks might be more of an issue than other stuff, since you do make a board that's very hard to play through already, so one of these is good. Then I'll just show one more monster-based option that I have not played with, but in theory it might be good. And that's Retaliating Sea and Contact Sea. These could be good in this format potentially, but I don't have much experience with them. So I'm not really sure how good they are, but I figured I'd mention them just because, like I said, you can't play Spell and Traps, so just knowing that these exist and have potential to be used is something I wanted to mention. This one's really good against Parley, I've heard, so. So I'll just show the combo real quick. This is just off 1 Wakaushi or the bike, which gets the Wakaushi. So it's the same thing, doesn't matter which one you open. So you're gonna scale Wakaushi, special it. Scale your Big Benki effect. Search the Soul Horns, equip Soul Horns, special itself. So now you have material to make the Denglong. Chain 1, chain 2 to rescale, and then this is going to search you Zephyrnui. So this is just off the 1 card, and then let's say you also have Moyi and a worm in hand. We're only going to pen summon the 1 Zephyrnui because we want to respect Nib. So when this is pen summoned, you search the counter trap. Then you could dump Ataya or a Moyi, just level 4, to make this a 4, and now you can synchro these 2. This goes to the face-up extra deck, and now you have your Baron. So So I guess off the one card you have Baron, Scales, and the Counter Trap, just off the one super heavy starter, one card combo. So now that we've established our Baron, you can normal summon Moyi, reveal your worm, get a token, synchro these off for your Shisho. Shisho 1, Moyi 2 to get you a blank draw. And you have a few options with Shisho. You can search Ataya for follow-up if you think you have enough disruptions, especially if you have like a hand trap or two in hand to complement it. You might just want to add Ataya to play for turn 3. You can add a Longyon, which is probably going to be the popular choice since it's more disruptions. Or you can add the Blackout if you're facing like a back row deck and you want to be able to pop their sets on M phase or whatever. But for this, I'll just show the Longyon since that's probably the most popular route. So you add this, pitch your worm, summon a token, synchro these off to Sinister. So just off Moyi and a reveal plus the super heavy one card combo, you have a Baron to the non-negate. You have the Counter Trap on negate, which just banishes this card when you use it from the extra deck. You have your Shisho negate, and you have the double banish from Longyon. And you still have your Scales established, which can come up potentially in a grind game. And then you do the one card from Moyi. And you still have a couple other cards in hand as well, so it's a lot to deal with. Still a pretty minimal investment, so depending on what you have in hand, and if you want to disrespect Nib, you could do some crazy stuff potentially with the pen summoning. So yeah, that's it for kind of how this deck functions. Like I said, it's been pretty solid and testing for me, so I figured I'd share it. It's like a fun Swordsoul build, since the regular Swordsoul deck is kind of a little boring at this point. It's power crept. It's not that good, but it's still alright. I still like the Swordsoul archetype a lot, so just finding new interesting ways to play it is always cool to me. But yeah, that's it for the video. If you end up giving this a try, let me know how you like it. That's it. Take care. Peace.